I know that Prismatic Titan is all the rage right now, you know, throwing ice spears and shooting crystals for tracking damage on enemies while doing healing thruster dodges. It's a little dizzying to play against sometimes, but lately I'm opting to lean into a completely different playstyle on my Titan, one that is more of a return to form for me, as I'm not really a big fan of ability spam as much as I am a fan of having my abilities enhance my gunplay. And that's why the recently buffed Mask of the Quiet One is a strong recommend from me to you if you enjoy leaning into gunplay and making the shooter side of Destiny shine brighter than the ability side of Destiny in PvP. So take a quick look at some of these plays, and then we'll start unpacking this thing.
Double down. Yes. 3 down. Fought like a titan of the...
Okay, now that you've got a taste of what's possible with this exotic, let me first talk about the buff that it received, and then we'll get into building around the exotic and weapon recommendations as well. So, the old Mask of the Quiet One basically granted you melee, grenade, and class ability energy when you took damage, while void ability kills would grant you health regeneration. The new one takes this to a completely new level. It now reads, grants ability energy when you are damaged, while you have a void super equipped, rapid final blows and final blows while critically wounded grant Devour. Okay, now Devour has always been one of my favorite elemental buffs in the game, and it's because Devour doesn't get kills for you, but it constantly rewards you for winning your fights. I was maining Devour builds on Destiny 2 launch back in 2017 because of this. Now there are two things that Devour will do for you mainly, okay? First, it's going to grant you 100 hit points, and that does apply to your shield as well. So that's what's allowing me to keep the pedal all the way to the floor and continue pushing more and more and more Guardians back to back to back in a lot of these streaks. The second thing it's going to do is it's going to give us 20% of our grenade energy back with every kill we get in PvP. Now, this is interesting because this was originally, this whole grenade refunding thing, this was originally designed to be a gameplay loop for the Voidwalker. So if you remember, Voidwalkers used to have the ability to consume their own grenade and sacrifice it to queue up Devour on command. Bungie took that away, which I still don't like to this day, by the way. I'm not sure why that needed to go away and be replaced by the secant filaments, especially since, you know, Worm Husk continues to be a thing for hunters, healing dodges are now a thing for Titans, but I digress. The loop was that you would eat your grenade to queue up Devour, and then you could earn that grenade charge back by getting kills while the Devour timer was active. So they sort of fed each other. You eat the grenade to get Devoured. You get kills while Devour is up to recharge your grenade. You eat your grenade to queue up Devour. You get the idea. But now that Devour is available for all classes, that opens up a lot of new possibilities. So for me, that means I'm going to have a lot more suppressor grenades available for shutting down all of the ability spam in the Crucible. I can be a lot more liberal with these grenades now that I know I'll be earning a lot of that energy back passively. And here's the best thing about this new buff to the Mask of the Quiet One. It's completely free. Like, Warlocks used to be the kings of Devour. Not anymore. Warlocks need to get an ability final blow to start the Devour train. Or they can use the secant filaments, which takes an exotic slot and then also requires you to use a rift, have it cooled down, probably be outside of combat because you can't really activate an empowering rift in the middle of a fight. Mask of the Quiet One is just going to be like, yeah, man, you got to kill that super cool. Here's Devour. It's free. I have never had this kind of uptime on Devour on a Warlock in the 7+ years that Warlock has had access to it. The Void Titan is now the best Devour class in the game for PvP. That does make me a little salty as a Voidwalker main, but I'm honestly so far past the point of caring enough to complain about Destiny anymore. I'm just going to play what's fun at this point. That's another conversation I actually want to have later this week in a separate video. But suffice it to say, Destiny is what it is right now, and expecting it to be anything different is wasted energy. Bungie won't suddenly be like, yeah, we're going to break our cycle and take D2 in a whole new direction. It ain't happening. We just got to settle in, enjoy it for what it is, and then play other stuff when we're aggravated by something or if we're getting tired or whatever it is. It's that simple for me now. Anyway, Titans are the Devour Kings now, okay? And I think the sheer uptime on Devour in the gameplay is going to reinforce that claim pretty substantially. So all you gotta do is get multi-kills or win a duel where you lose your shield. That's it. And that's basically every fight where someone's shooting back. And since we're not really focusing on spamming abilities with this build, I'm going to be using a Void primary weapon so that I can stack a frick ton of harmonic mods on my armor since they're cheaper, and I get a lot more mileage out of my weapon performance buffs. So I'm taking handling mods, reloader mods, targeting mods, unflinching mods, etc. So I've got triple unflinching on the sidearm, I got triple targeting, I got double reload and one handling, then I've got a surge mod just for kicks and giggles. I just want all of my focus to be on using my gun reliably and consistently to score kills in PvP. None of that prismatic ability spam and bullshit for me. Let's move on to aspects and fragments. So for my aspects, I'm running Bastion so I can get overshields when I deploy a barricade, and I can give overshields to my nearby teammates as well. We'll take advantage of those overshields with our other aspect, which is going to be offensive bulwark. While you have an overshield, your grenade recharges significantly faster, and you gain extra range and damage on melee attacks, which I'll take advantage of in combat as well. Now for our fragments, we've got Echo of Vigilance for starters. I was using Echo of Starvation, but found that we really didn't need it, right? We didn't need it anymore. We were getting plenty of uptime on Devour just by getting kills, so we didn't need to like queue up Devour on picking up Orbs of Power. Then we have Echo of Leeching for that health regen on melees, and the bump in Resilience for our build. Then Echo of Instability for the bump in Strength, along with the occasional volatile rounds on grenade kills. And finally, Echo of Persistence, which is a must-have for this build in particular, because we want to increase the timer on Devour and on our overshields as well, as much as possible so we can get a lot more usage out of them. It also makes it much easier to refresh Devour when you have that longer duration to it. All of these things, they stack to make a build that's literally all about one thing and one thing only, and that's winning gunfights. If you can win a fight, you'll be perfectly set up to win another fight with full health and maybe even an overshield. The only way this could be better is if Bungie introduced a fragment that reloads your equipped weapon when you get a final blow while Devour is active. That would be incredible. You wouldn't have to slow down for jack squat. Just hold forward the entire time. Either way, since we don't have to slow down much at all for this build, it makes it so that we can just keep pushing our momentum, which leads to some pretty wild kill counts in matches. You don't have to wait on a cooldown for your primary weapon. If your whole approach is just to throw 3 abilities at someone to get a kill, you simply can't get as many kills in a game, right? But look at these kill counts. We don't have to wait on cooldowns. Look at these kill counts on these matches here with this build. We got 45s, 47s, 46s, 50s, and more. And while the insurmountable that I'm using is Lone Wolf and Closing Time, I adore this. I love this sidearm for raw weapon duels, which is why I'm using it. You could also go with something that has like Killing Wind or Kill Clip or even Rampage, because we're trying to keep that momentum rolling, so you could queue up even more weapon damage after that initial kill. Now you have Devour and you're dishing out more damage. That could be a pretty nasty combination as well. And a lot of these games have guys on the other team who actually have higher Crucible KDs than I do. They have higher ELO ratings than I do, but their builds are more ability focused, so they can't run up as many kills as I can so long as I'm landing my shots. And that's really who the Mask of the Quiet One was made for at this point. It's for the PvP lover who wants to lean almost exclusively on their weapons to secure kills. Not only that, but Mask of the Quiet One has some pretty wild survivability now in PvE as well. So if you wanted to do a wicked PvE build, there's tons of videos out there. I would just search it on YouTube. Guys who have already fleshed out these builds much better than I have. But Mask of the Quiet One is nasty in PvE too, because you can just like keep Devour going, keep your health topped off, and then you can lean into all the Void artifact mods as well, so you're creating more breaches, all that kind of stuff. So if you hadn't had a chance to play around with the newly buffed Mask of the Quiet One, I think you definitely should take the time to do it, and I highly doubt you would end up regretting it if you're like me and you enjoy weapon dueling above all else in Destiny 2. Thank you so much for watching the video today. If you enjoyed it, then let me know by leaving a like on the video, as it's the best free way to support the content right here on YouTube, and consider subscribing for additional Destiny 2 content and other kinds of content from time to time as well. With that, I say be warm and well fed, my friends, and I hope to catch you in the Crucible. Bye-bye.